please post them in the chat to everyone, and we will try to get them all answered at the end of our session. We'll do a Q&A session. Today's presentation, Host in Hamilton, is from our Tourism and Events group. So I'd like to introduce Sherry Lucia and Alana Henderson.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. We're here to talk to you about helping us build back our community, the meetings, conventions, and sports events industry in Hamilton. A tourism event is one that attracts visitors and generates greater level of visitor spending and overnight stays. Our call to action is to promote business in the sport and convention industry in order to enhance the City of Hamilton's economic impact through these visitors. In 2019, we welcomed 115 sport events and conventions. That included over 6 million people generating $600 million of spending into the City of Hamilton. COVID-19 has devastated our events industry, and face-to-face meetings are expected to be the last to reopen to regular business levels. Between 2020 and 2021, we scheduled just over 72 events with a attendance of over 1 million people. This is lost business for event organizers, suppliers, hotelers, restaurants, musicians, and artists. These events take a minimum of 1 to 5 years to plan, and they rely on earned ticket and sponsorship revenues. Face-to-face events make a significant contribution to our local economy through lodging, transportation, food and beverage, finance, insurance, real estate, and many other industries. Every meeting or event creates work and brings guests to hotels and convention centers, as well as visitors to restaurants, shops, attractions, and this all supports our economy and our pandemic recovery. In 2019, the tourism industry in Hamilton employed just over 2,300 individuals, and that number was expected to grow with new infrastructure and developments on the horizon for Hamilton. The events industry supports many jobs in many industries, such as agriculture, goods movement, ICT and digital media, life sciences, creative industries, finance and real estate, manufacturing, and my favorite, tourism. Meetings Mean Business Canada is the voice of Canadian meeting and business events. This association works with the key industry stakeholders to communicate our social and economic impact to decision makers at all levels of the Canadian government. Their business impact study revealed the following statistics. $19.3 billion of business travel spending is directly contributed to the GDP. The meetings and convention industry in Hamilton sustains 229,000 direct jobs. $33 billion of this is generated through direct spending. The average conference delegate spends $668 per event, and the business traveler spends 4 times more than leisure travelers.
Sport events brings people, and people results in spending. Sport tourism is a significant economic driver in Canada at all levels: national, provincial, regional, and local. The following stats are provided by Sport Tourism Canada, which was formed in 2000 through a partnership with Destination Canada, with the goal to increase Canada's capacity to attract and host sport tourism events. Sport Tourism Canada has over 500 plus members representing national and provincial sport organizations, municipalities, institutions, and service suppliers. 200,000 sport events occurred nationally across Canada. 6.8 billion in total annual spending. 4.4 billion spending by domestic visitors. 2.5 billion spending by international visitors. 16.3 million total visitors, 14.5 million domestic trips, and 1.8 million international visitors. To piggyback on the national impact, this slide shows just a few of the many events Hamilton has hosted and the number of delegates and participants events attract, all of which again are spending money in our city, whether it is accommodations, restaurants, retail, transportation, or attractions. Direct Hamilton impacts. This slide demonstrates a great example of the correlation between overnight stays and direct impacts to our local economy. As you can see, as overnight stays increase per year, our museum admissions also increased per year. It is important to note that these increases would also extend to and impact other local businesses within our city. The next slide is a snapshot of the key performance indicators as a result of our sales activities and efforts to attract business and events to the city. From 2016 through 2020, the number of leads sent were 773. The number of room nights attached to leads was 172,460. The number of bids submitted was 81, and the number of bids won was 21. So how do we attract business? We consistently target business opportunities through sales calls. We go on sales missions to Ottawa and the GTA area, as majority of our provincial and national associations are based in these areas. We attend conferences and trade shows to represent and promote Hamilton as a host destination. And we also conduct familiarization tours and site visits for prospective clients to show what Hamilton has to offer, which has always been in-person activities. Due to COVID-19, as with everyone, we had shifted to a virtual world. Sales calls and meetings became over Zoom or WebEx. We have continued to participate in some of the key national trade shows within each of our markets that have been offered virtually. And similar to majority of other cities, we have engaged some of our venue, attraction, and local businesses to partner with us to offer familiarization tours online through presentations and virtual interactive activities for prospective clients. This has been a very important element to ensure Hamilton remains relevant and on top of people's minds as a future host. Our focus has always been communicating regularly with existing clients to support and maintain relationships, to rebook canceled events for business retention, and prospecting efforts in both of our markets have been concentrated on looking to the future 2022 and beyond for economic recovery. So what can you do to help your city during this pandemic? We all play an important role in our community in rebuilding our hospitality industry, helping frontline workers and supporting our local businesses. So do you attend meetings and conferences? Are you involved on a board or a committee? Do you volunteer or are you part of an association? If so, be a local ambassador. Consider hosting an event, share this information with organizations, and promote Hamilton as a hosting destination.
Hosting a meeting, convention, or sporting event offers a good option for cities looking to benefit while at the same time broadening your economic and social aspirations for a better community. Here are 10 good reasons these events are worth pursuing. Number 1, delegates spend more. A variety of studies show that delegates outspend leisure travelers. They are more likely to be business or professional travelers on an expense account, and this is reflected in where they stay and how much they are prepared to spend. Number 2, they use established accommodations. These visitors are more likely to stay in established hotels in order to be closer to the action of the conference and within walking distance to downtown venues. Number 3, the benefits are widespread and they impact more than just one sector. It's not just about hospitality. Studies show that over half of the revenues to a community arise from things like staging, organization, and technology. These areas are far beyond what would traditionally be thought as visitor services. This means more sectors share in the results. Number 4, these events bring new knowledge and experience. Delegates are attending a conference in order to share and enhance their experience and expertise. This generally rubs off on the community while leaving a legacy. It also reflects well on the host destination and advances the contacts and knowledge of the local businesses. Number 5, these events support civic pride and aspirations of the local residents. How much city pride would you have seeing your home regarded as a venue for events that bring experts and people together for serious deliberations? Grey Cup and the RBC Canadian Open are some great examples of leaving a legacy and promoting hometown Hamilton pride.
And number 6, enhance city exposure and image. Major events track global attention, whether within a specialized audience or when the world is watching what's going on. This raises city profile and prestige, particularly when the achievements of a hosted group relate to the objectives of local government. Number 7, spread the hospitality season. Many visitors tend to clump into high season, which doesn't always support local infrastructure when they need it the most. Meetings and conventions, on the other hand, have much more flexibility and often seek out off seasons to get better deals on accommodations. In the end, this is what most hospitality suppliers need in order to sustain them through the more challenging times until the next peak season arrives. Number 8, generates future tourism. Delegates and people who might not otherwise have come to visit a conference destination, thus a whole new market for future visits. Many studies have shown that the experience they have while attending an event can and does result in repeat visits, often with the family in tow, not to mention the pre- and post-conference travel that accompanies many conventions themselves. Number 9, supports the local economy in priority areas. Conferences and conventions focus global attention on the host community and associate it with topics being addressed. When those areas are related to local priorities for economic and social development, the host city has an opportunity to position itself and its related industries and institutions on a global stage. And finally, number 10, valuable source of key talent. Many savvy cities are realizing that a major conference can be one of the best available tools for attracting and accessing the global expertise that represent the future key sectors and an opportunity to encourage them to relocate to that community. This can be one of the most effective ways of reinforcing other economic development initiatives.
So now you're probably wondering, how can we help you host? We have the resources to help you bring your events to Hamilton. We can assist with finding your association financial incentives to host in Hamilton. These incentives are based on projected hotel room nights, number of people attending the event, and what the economic impact is for the city. We also have the tools to put together a citywide bid that highlights Hamilton's best attractions and includes quotes and contacts for hosting venues and hotels. We love hosting, and our fam tours are a great way for us to show you and tell you the story of what hosting in Hamilton feels like. Our team also has the contacts with local airlines and transportation companies to help ensure your delegates arrive safely to Hamilton. Hamilton also has a unique variety of hosting venues that include traditional hotel and convention center venues, gardens, breweries, galleries, and museums. The Hamilton Convention Center by Carmen's is also committed to improving the vitality of our community by attracting large world-class events to Hamilton. Taxes from these venues help fund and support local schools, hospitals, community centers, and much more. Hotels. Having hotels in your city offers direct economic and social impacts. Hotels create jobs, and their operating costs are paid to the community. These things can range from the purchase of donuts from a local bakery every morning to the utilities the hotel pays every month. Some of our Hamilton hotels collect a lodging tax and use it to help market Hamilton for future return visits. You can also consider the jobs created during the construction of a hotel. When people stay in hotels, they fill their tank with gas, they have dinner at a local restaurant, they shop at a local store, or even catch a glimpse at a museum.
As many of you know, King William Dining District, also known as Restaurant Row, is one of Hamilton's most popular spots for culinary experiences and has played a big role in our downtown revitalization. We'd like to give a quick shout out to the Downtown BIA, the restaurants along King William, and the City of Hamilton. Last summer, in response to COVID-19, an outdoor dining district was created so more people could safely enjoy and support their local restaurants. The culinary scene is something tourism is always highlighting to our clients and when we are prospecting business. Whether it is on our website, in our bid proposals, or during familiarization tours, encouraging them to incorporate it into their events for participants and delegates to experience. Tourism Hamilton has very strong relationships with our post-secondary institutions. We often collaborate and work with them in pursuing business opportunities as they offer a variety of meeting, event spaces, facilities, and services for both our sectors. Institutions have become a one-stop shop in the eyes of many event organizers, as they not only offer facilities, but also on-site catering services, AV support, event support, planning, and now also resident accommodations between the months of May and August, which makes it very convenient for participants and delegates to remain on site during their event or conference. Meet at the Field. It was officially announced the CFL season is a go, commencing August 5th, so on December 12th, Tim Hortons Field will play host to the 108th Grey Cup. This is very exciting as Hamilton will be welcoming what will probably be the first major national sporting event since the pandemic hit us. This is a perfect opportunity to show off Tim Hortons Field and our city. The stadium is also home to the Forge FC and Canadian Football Hall of Fame and offers a variety of unique meeting spaces, perfect for any meeting or social event. Many are not aware of these facility amenities, so we are always again highlighting the stadium's offerings to existing and prospective clients. The First Ontario Centre, now home to 3 professional sport teams, including our newest tenant, the Toronto Rock lacrosse team. Due to its flexible configuration, the First Ontario Centre can host a variety of major events, from sports to multi-level concerts, award shows, and to large consumer trade shows. It's very important to highlight the future of the First Ontario Centre's surrounding area and facilities. The city recently approved a master agreement between the City of Hamilton and the Hamilton Urban Precinct Entertainment Group. The agreement will see the precinct group taking over responsibility for the operations and maintenance of the First Ontario Centre, the First Ontario Concert Hall, and the Hamilton Convention Centre. They proposed a minimum $50 million renovation of the First Ontario Centre to include a new exterior facade, a video board, transformation of the lower bowl, expanded concourse level, and a new flexible curtaining system for the upper bowl balcony. The renovation also proposes to allow year-round access to street-level activations on York Boulevard, which will include a sports lounge, an e-gaming zone, and additional food and beverage offerings in collaboration with local hospitality partners. This is very exciting news for the residents of Hamilton, as well as for attracting future events and business opportunities for Hamilton and its economy. Sport event hosting plays an important role in sustainable economic and social recovery in communities across the country. Recent studies have shared sport tourism is poised to bounce back quickly to help reboot local economies, and provided we can create safe event experiences, will be central to restoring confidence in travel and tourism. Here are just some of the major events Hamilton looks forward to welcoming and hosting in the near future. 108th Grey Cup, the RBC Canadian Open, Feel the Power Cheer competition, the ISU World Synchro Skating Championships, and Youth Sports Men's National Volleyball Championships.
We are very excited to welcome some conventions to Hamilton when larger groups are allowed to permit. Coming soon is the Canadian Country Music Awards, the Canadian Society of Internal Medicine, the Canadian Society of Vascular Surgeons, the Ontario Business Improvement Area Association, and the North American Bike Share Association. Thank you for taking the time to learn more from us about why you should host in Hamilton and how you can be part of our economic recovery and help get our hospitality partners back to work. We encourage you to reach out to us or visit our website at tourismhamilton.com/meetings or tourismhamilton.com/sports, or give us a call to talk to us about how we can help welcome your associations to Hamilton. So I think now we're going to open to questions.
Yeah, so Sherry and Alana, I do have one question here. You probably did touch on it a little bit, but I know you have some big events, the Grey Cup and some others already in the works, but in general, are you finding or hearing that potential delegations are waiting for more information on interprovincial and or international travel restrictions, or are they already planning some of these maybe smaller events in anticipation of reopenings?
It's a good question. What we do know, what we're hearing from our clients is that they're very excited to, potentially come and host conferences and large events in the city, but obviously, they want to be very responsible and follow all this, the safety regulations. We do have a lot of hybrid conferences planned for hopefully the very end of 2021 and into 2022. But most of our events, realistically, like for larger groups, cannot happen until 2022. Because they take, extensive planning time.
Right.
Yeah, and I would just share too from a sport tourism perspective, when you hear Grey Cup, which is such a major event, again, everything's driven by, provincial restrictions. So in terms of planning, that's something that will drive that. But internationally, we're seeing in the sport tourism market, that will probably be obviously the last to return. Concentration is really focused on regional, interprovincial kind of first stage to get things back. Sport Tourism Canada did form a task recovery team that are also producing reports to support the sport tourism industry, and they actually just released something on international travel just a couple weeks ago. So that's the second of 3 reports that have come out. Very extensive information, but I think it's definitely safe to say, a phased approach. But there's a lot of factors within there that have to be, safety first, and confidence is the one thing for both our markets.
Great, that's great. So sounds like a lot of exciting things to come when we can get things reopened fully. Anyways, I just want to thank Sherry and Alana for a great presentation and for your answer to that question. I'd also like to thank the members of the Employee Engagement Committee, Christina, for making sure this event ran smoothly, and also for everyone here that shared their lunch hour with us. So we all wish you a great summer.